Uh-oh. I already messed it up. Hold on, guys. We got the intro. All right. I don't know where the intro is at. Shawn's not with me tonight, so I'm just going to kick it off as unorganized as possible. Welcome to Undisputed. We have some special guests joining us.
But let me tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till I get down. Well, let me tell you about me, so much fun. Whether we're talking man to man, whether we're talking from the sun, 'cause he's my best. He's my best friend. He's my best friend. 'Cause he's my best friend. Burn it down.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Undisputed. For the second time, I'm going to try this again. As you can see, I am flying solo, but we do have some special guests with us tonight. We have them backstage, but like always, bring your opinions, bring your popcorn, get ready. It's going to be a really good show. We're talking Snow White. We're talking Adventureland Treehouse. We have a new game. But as always, we're going to start off with our over-under just right. But before we get started, we do want to thank our sponsors, Designer Part Co., Getaway Today, as well as all of our amazing lamplighters, their Patreon supporters. We appreciate that. And I'm going to stop butchering this intro now that Shawn's not here. And I'm going to bring in our team today. We have a pretty packed show. So one by one, I'm going to bring them in, let them introduce themselves, and see how they're doing. All right. First up from Neverland Clubhouse Podcast, we got Courtney. Courtney, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm, just recouping from a weekend at MouseCon. So
I hats off for you guys for joining tonight. I know you guys had a crazy busy weekend, but thank you for being here. I'm sure some of you guys that are watching are going to be excited for tonight's topic. But also joining you out of MouseCon from the DU, we have Joey. How are you, man?
Oh, doing good. I too am suffering from my MouseCon hangover, but it was worth it, and glad to fight. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
Glad to be here though.
Fisticuffs.
Yes.
Man, I'm glad you're here. We got some topics. One of the topics I'm sure you have a lot of thought on, so can't wait to get to that. But to conclude our MouseCon circle, we have Where in the Park, Amanda and Kevin, and I am going to apologize before bringing them in for not naming them as a sponsor. Shawn usually knocks out all the legalities part, but here we are. How's it going, guys?
It's going great.
Going well. We got home about an hour and a half ago. So
Oh, you guys.
Troopers. That's how we roll.
that's right.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Appreciate you guys jumping on a very last minute. The game at the end is going to make things real interesting. And the reason they're going to be interesting, so we have two newcomers to the Walt's Apartment Podcast Network, but they are also first-timers to Undisputed. So I hope they brought their opinions. I hope they brought their popcorn. And let's bring them in. I'm going to bring both of them in and let them introduce themselves.
How's it going, everybody?
Oh, we got Sino here. We lost one. How are you doing, man?
Good.
Glad you're here. If you want to introduce yourself to those that just joined, but also our viewers on Facebook and YouTube.
Right on. So I'm Sino. I'm with Toon Sci-Fi Club SC, and I'm the VP in the club. And just happy to be here.
We are glad you are here. For those of you guys in the comments, just a heads up, we are going to be talking about all things Disney, pot stirring, just like we do here on Undisputed. But just like usual, we probably won't be taking all the comments. If you have comments about upcoming movies, projects, stuff like that may not go in line with the theme or topic we're talking about, we may not answer those. But if you want to get into the pot stirring and throw in some opinions about the topics, by all means, please chime in.
Those questions will come Wednesday on the live show, most likely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wednesdays.
So our first activity that we got going, it's over under just right. Have you guys have all played over under just right? So for those that aren't and for those that are watching, we're gonna have 5 movies, 5 film titles, and each of the panelists, each of the guests are gonna share. Hey, if it's over, under, meaning overrated, underrated, or just right, and also explain why. And by all means, for all the guests on tonight, if you disagree, by all means, chime in. Let us know why you disagree, why you do agree, or if you're exactly the same, by all means, keep it going. So our first ones. So these are fairly newer movies. Our first movie up, over, under, just right, Finding Dory. We'll start with Joey on that one. Finding Dory, over, under, just right.
Is there like a scale on like how these are loved or anything? Or I kind of forget this part. Or is it just
So
like in my opinion?
It's just your opinion. If you feel like it's overrated, if you feel like it's underrated, or if you feel like it's just right.
I think it is just right. Banking off a great movie that Finding Nemo was, it's always hard to do a very good sequel. So basing it on Dory's character and kind of origin story and new characters, was a nice touch and nothing overly done, nothing. I'll say just right.
All right, Courtney.
I think it's underrated because
Underrated?
Yeah, because it's a great movie. And I think it has more of a heart than the original, than Finding Nemo. I kind of feel like Finding Nemo is overrated a little bit. So underrated because you don't really hear people going crazy over Finding Dory either anymore. It's all about Finding Nemo, the first one. But so I feel like it's an underrated movie.
All right. Kevin and Amanda?
I don't think it's underrated personally. I think a lot of people also blame the influences other than him being a character.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's underrated as well. Yeah, for the same reason. I think, Finding Nemo got a lot of attention. And it deserves it. Yeah, it's fantastic. But I think that like what was already shared, Finding Dory has a lot of heart. It has that origin story that we need Sigourney Weaver in our lives, and that needs to be celebrated. But underrated.
Yeah.
All right. Sino? Overrated, underrated, just right.
I think it's underrated for the simple fact that it should have been its own movie, not like a piggyback off of Nemo.
All right. And Swiper, glad you can join us. If you want to overrated, underrated, just right, Finding Dory.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I mean, going back from when I first saw it, I thought it was just right. I mean, I'd be cheating if I were to go back and to look at the notes from the first experience I had watching it. I thought it was just right.
All right. So according to Shawn, who's not here tonight, but he's in the comments, he says Finding Dory is trash.
Okay.
Was he talking about Forky or?
What's that?
Was he talking about Forky from Toy Story 4?
He must be. I mean,
he must be talking about Wally. I don't know.
I'm with you guys. I think it's underrated, but I do agree. I think it should have been its own movie. It could have been still called Finding Dory, but give us a Dory movie, not necessary. I mean, I guess it was to a fault, but it's kind of just a skeleton of Nemo. Instead of finding Nemo, Dory was just finding herself. I feel like it's underrated for what it is.
You know what? I want to change my vote to underrated because I just remembered how good the new characters from the aquarium were. Um,
Yeah.
and how that I actually enjoyed like a lot of those guys more than some of the original characters from the first movie. So
So
I'll agree with underrated.
the comments are getting spicy.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I
Still
mean,
not ready, huh?
he did
It's
call
very
it trash, so.
Those
All right.
California guys have such attitude, even if they're newly California.
All right, here we go. Next one. Overrated, underrated, just right. Ratatouille. We'll go with we'll start backwards. We'll go Swiper. Ratatouille. Overrated, underrated, just right. The mustache.
I loved it. I thought it was fine the way it was. I mean, I got to see an El Capitan, which was probably like the best experience I would have gone to watch at least with my family, and I loved it.
All right.
So
just right or underrated?
oh, I said it was right. I think it was good.
All right. Casino?
It's just right. It's like it's like this. It's its own movie. Like a cooking. It's like meeting Chef Ramsay and a mouse. You know, it's unique. It's perfect.
It's unique.
All right. Kevin and Amanda?
I think it's just right also. And I think because like we have the lovable characters, but we also have really great music. And I don't know if it's because like we have the ride, you know, at Epcot and Paris that kind of like reinforces that world. So I think I don't know if my answer would be the same if those areas didn't exist.
These things also good because the habits of like more Ratatouille. I think it's just right.
Gotcha. I don't know if anyone else is hearing it. Kevin and Amanda, your guys' mic sounds muffled or
Muffled.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're good right now.
I thought it was my computer.
No,
No, it's okay.
We got
Cutting
it
it out.
you know, since the last time we were on. So we're like,
Yeah, it's still muffled.
yeah, it sounds like
Amanda's
All right,
a little bit more clearer than Kevin,
Yeah.
but still low muffled.
Yeah.
Probably because you're closer to the mic. Yeah.
all right. Joey, overrated, underrated, just right.
I'm gonna say it's actually underrated, because as much critical acclaim that it got, and not just critically, but even like fan wise, I just say it's underrated because of the lack of park presence it has besides Epcot and Paris. So I mean, you got some mediocre movies that have a lot more park presence. So great characters, like somebody posted in the comments, like it's a great original story all the way through. Doesn't need a sequel, and it stands on its own. So and like Kevin Amanda said, the music's amazing. Brad Bird's an awesome director, animated director, and great characters. So just because of the lack of park presence, it's underrated.
All right. Courtney?
I don't like this movie, so it's overrated.
What? That was not the answer I was expecting.
I don't like the ride. I don't like getting splashed in the face with dirty water. It's gross. So, yeah, I mean, I watched it once. I thought it was cute, but like it wasn't one that I needed to watch again. And then with the park presence, I did ride the ride, and like I said, it's all the smells and the dirty mop water scene. It's just not for me. So I think it's a little overrated.
As my sister would say, I don't want to watch a movie about a rat cooking food.
Exactly.
Not the answer I was expecting. For me, I think it's just right. I've watched that movie in pieces like a million times.
Hey!
Wow.
Dang.
I've watched that movie in pieces like a million times, but it wasn't only until about a year and a half ago that I watched it from start to finish. And I think that movie is just right. It's the perfect blend of storytelling, adventure, characters. I mean, it's one of the only humanized cartoons that actually the humans don't just seem copy and paste. Like there's some story to them, like Incredibles. I think Ratatouille is just right. But all right, next one. This one caused some controversy.
For the record, Tyler, she's a beer drinker.
Yeah.
No, you're fine, Tyler. You're fine.
So this one caused controversy a few weeks back between me and Sean. Overrated, underrated, just right, onward. I'm going to open it up. Whoever wants to start off first.
I like that movie. I think it was perfect for me because it got my allergies started for some reason. You know, it reminded me of my dad, so that's why it was perfect for me.
All right. Let's go elementary school with it. We'll go popcorn. What do you want to pick off to?
Let's go to the right.
You're right. All right.
Screen.
You're right.
So Kevin and Amanda?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I didn't really connect with that movie that much, so like, I don't know. I feel I'll say it's overrated personally. What do you think?
I connected with it a little bit, but I think I'm gonna do just a hair on the overrated side. It's just a hair.
I'm like
All
full
right.
overrated. She's just thinking of states, so maybe
Just a hair.
argue one more. You know?
Just some magical powder dust like the movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Touching moments, touching moments, but like
Slowly.
touching moments that I was like, let's go. Like, I understand we're on a quest. Let's go. Yeah.
I looked up the weekend before COVID, and it was like asking like 5,000 people in there. So like the first wasn't it was a weird time to begin with. And this sort of thing was, and I don't know, maybe it was this too much other stuff on my mind at the time. It just didn't really have it hitting all the cylinders there, but
Are we still sounding muffled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll keep working on it.
No,
Let's
it's cool,
go,
though.
Joey.
All right, Joey. Overrated, underrated, just right. Onward.
So I was going to say it's just right. I've only seen it once, and I thought it was pretty good. I am going to say overrated just because I was super excited about the voice cast of Tom Holland,
That's
Spider-Man.
right.
Spider-Man and Guardians.
Spider-Man and Star-Lord, Octavia Spencer, and was it Julia Louis-Dreyfus in it too, or no?
Yes, she was the mom. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't seem live up to the hype that I was waiting for. But so barely overrated just because of
But
the
I
voice.
think that's because of COVID. I think it would have lived up to the hype if COVID had.
Oh, not when I saw it. I mean, COVID didn't make me fall asleep in the middle of it. But,
No.
but I only saw it once, so.
All right.
I will go to
Who you sending it to?
I will go to Courtney.
I'm gonna say it's underrated because I feel like it didn't get its time in the theater because of COVID. I loved the premise of the like D&D, like going on a quest. You know, we're gonna find this place, and I love the heart of like, you know, trying to find their dad. It reminded me a lot of like my favorite show, like Supernatural, where they were trying to find their dad and two brothers going on a quest. It was a lot like that, with magical creatures. So, and I love the voice cast. I thought it was very underrated, and it didn't get its time in the yes, Tyler. It didn't get its time in the theater, and then it got sideswiped directly to Disney Plus shortly after that because of COVID. And I hope everybody kind of streamed it on there, but it was Disney Plus was still new at the time, and not very many people had it. They were still testing it out, really. So I think it's underrated and didn't get its due.
All right. Well, since we lost somebody, I'm assuming I'm next. Let's want to throw it somewhere else.
Julie, sir. No, to Louis.
And I almost went with Swiper too. I should have picked him. So I hope he didn't feel.
For me, I think it's highly underrated. I think there's a lot of cool like visions in there. There's really like cool storytelling. Going the D&D route was awesome. I think the character development was awesome. But for me, it hits a soft spot during COVID when, I mean, every day what you just had to be thankful for, given that like peak of that moment, watching it and having two sons myself, it was one of the few Disney movies that again got my allergies going. And so for me, I think Onward is super underrated, and that is a movie you can build a land behind of and have a lot of endless boundaries of what you can do because it's all mythical. There is no borders. It's a fantasy within a fantasy. So I think Onward could do really well.
Yeah.
The dad
Yeah.
reminded me of Weekend at Bernie's.
Onward has
Weekend at
88% on Rotten Tomatoes. All right, we got two more. So here we go. Over, under, just right. Big Hero 6. I'll start that one up. I think Big Hero 6 is just right. I don't think it's underrated. I don't think it's overrated. I think it's just right. I think it's a really cool blend between obviously a comic story and a cartoon, and I think it's really good. I'm gonna go. We'll go Sino on that one.
I agree. I have to agree with you. It's just right. It's perfect. I like especially how they made was it San Francisco? That's pretty cool. They included like San Francisco in there, so I thought it was good. The storyline, everything was good about it.
Nice. Who you sending it off to?
Let's go, Courtney.
I'm gonna agree with Shawn over there. It's overrated.
Why is Shawn not here? I mean, he's really that boy's starting hot right now from work. It's overrated.
Overrated, yeah. The best thing about that movie is Baymax, and that's about it. And I fell asleep.
You didn't get any allergies in that movie?
No, I
have
fell
a
asleep through half of
photograph?
it. Well, I first
Okay.
saw it in the theater, and I think I saw it way late at night, and I was working really a lot at the time, and like weird hours. I think it was still when I was at Target, so I was working real weird hours. And I fell asleep through it, and then I never have really had the inkling of picking it back up. I just and even like seeing Yokai at Oogie Boogie Bash, he's kind of like a more docile villain than any of the other ones there. It really didn't make me want to go back and watch the movie either. So I just kind of feel like that one's overrated. And I know it's part of Marvel, but I haven't read the comics or anything, or didn't really know how entwined it is with that universe. So to me, it just didn't really click.
All right.
I'll send it over to Kevin and Amanda, since they're like, what?
How dare you now?
I'm sorry.
But you need a new
point,
book.
to your point, first, I think you should give it another chance. But I will totally agree with you about Oogie Boogie Bash. I was so excited for Yokai. I thought it was a great addition, like in concept.
Yes.
But I was so disappointed when we got there, and he was just standing around. And then he had his one or two lines, very canned, and I'm like, no, like that is not how I pictured this character. So I totally agree with you on that. I thought for me, the movie is just right. It got the allergies going in the beginning with, spoiler if you haven't seen it, the brother passing, and then how it connects at the end and all of that, and then the twist with who the villain actually is, and like
Yeah, I mean,
all of
Yokai's
that,
a
like,
mysterious villain, so
yeah,
like they don't really build him up like I don't know. He's just kind of like a specter kind of in there for most of the movie. So it makes sense he's not that developed. But then yeah, like she's saying, you need to get to the end of it to really appreciate it. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember what part I woke up at, but it was just like, okay, that's a movie.
yeah. I mean, I like the laughter from like the jokes from Baymax were great. I love the tape fixing himself and all that stuff. His low
Come on,
battery.
la 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 la.
Yeah.
I
exactly.
said Baymax was the best part. I know Baymax.
He is the best part. He's the star of the show, hands down.
Yeah.
But
We went out
you
the
also had
window.
some other great moments too that really touch us. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say just right.
I'll second
All
that too.
Joey?
I'm agreeing with Tyler real quick. TJ Miller's character was hilarious. Fred. I love this movie. I think it's just right for every reason that Kevin, Amanda, and all you guys have said. I do think Yokai is a weak villain, but the reveal was the main kick
It
on
makes
that.
sense in the story.
Right.
Yeah, and but everything about the story, being close to San Francisco, seeing the nods of when they blended it with Tokyo and everything was really cool, and probably one of the best Stan Lee cameos in any Marvel movie / Disney
Yeah.
movie. So
Very
very
true.
cool. But yeah, just right. Courtney should give another.
All right. So, all right, we have one
And
last
Sean
one. We'll
too.
just go around. We'll go around real quick. Overrated, under, just right, and then we'll get into our rotten apple or pixie dusting topics for tonight, which I'm sure some of us have some very
Wait,
opposite
Louis, did you
opinions.
answer it?
I
Did you
did.
answer?
I said it was
Did
just
you?
right. I started off.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Last one is Zootopia. Overrated, just right, underrated. We'll start with Joey. Just give you overrated, underrated, or just right.
Just right. Fun movie.
All right. Kevin and Amanda.
Just right. Fun movie. No, I think it's a really good movie. I
Echo.
think it's really fun, really good, and I think it also does get the love though. So I wouldn't say that it's underrated at all, but I think it's just right.
I
I'll
don't
choose
know.
fence.
I am on the fence because my head immediately goes to what they're planning for
For
And
the
okay.
trade, yeah,
Animal
the
Kingdom.
trade
and
life, yeah.
and I can't get over that. Um you can't put it under the tree. It doesn't make sense.
What if they find a
I
good
just
story for it?
no,
What if it's
no,
like they built a subway station under the tree?
no. You take
They're in a
Rafiki's
snowflake like the
Planet
Grinch.
Watch, change it to the Zootopia train, and you're literally transported to another world in Rafiki's Planet Watch over there. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
A show under the tree does not make sense. That's where bugs are. That's where it's tough to be a bug should be. I digress. But the movie, I think it was cute. I'm gonna say slightly overrated though. Just slightly.
All right, Courtney.
I'm gonna have to agree with Amanda because I feel like it has a potential to be overrated. I liked it when it first came out. I thought it was freaking hilarious. I love Flash. I love Judy Hopps. Jennifer Goodwin is one of my favorites. She plays Snow White in Once Upon a Time, which is like one of my favorite shows ever. And so I was gonna say it was just right, but it has the potential to be overrated for what they're doing because they're just oversaturating it in the parks going forward. So
All right, Sino.
It's got to be just right for me. It was, yeah.
All right. I think it's overrated, like highly overrated.
Like, high.
Like high. The movie was good, but it wasn't that great. There was some memorable moments, but the movie it's forgettable. It was fun. I mean, it seemed like Disney took one of those dollar DVDs from like Walmart and said, "We like this storyline. We're gonna do it better," and that was it. Very forgettable. I mean, except for like what Tyler said, Flash in the 100-year, the Once Upon a Studio. I mean,
so
he redeemed himself, but like overall, the movie it's overrated.
Oh,
It
come
was
on.
fun.
Sloss at DMV was perfect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was
key
he was a
casting.
good
I like
character,
the whole
and
movie.
like he solidified himself as a good character in Once Upon a Studio. The rest
The
of
Duke of
them,
Weasel Town.
oh man. So the part where most people come and get excited for our topics for Pixie Dusting or Rotten Apple. We have Snow White up to bat, and we have Adventureland Treehouse. Which one do you guys want to start with first?
Snow White.
Snow White?
Ladies first, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so Snow White, we touched on this on the Wednesday show, but obviously we like to get very opinionated here on UnDIZsputed. And so Snow White has been pushed back. Snow White has been pushed back a year from its release date. No real stories have been that I've read so far of why it's done that, but we've seen the concept arts that have come out. Want to get your guys' opinion. I've already shared my opinion quite a bit, but but I want to get your guys's. Let's start with Courtney. Courtney, what's your opinion on Snow White being pushed back? Opinions,
Um,
facts, whatever you feel.
Joey knows I have lots of opinions on this. I First of all, I don't really think it needed to be pushed back any further. I feel like it's going to suffer like Aquaman sequel is going to suffer because you push it back too far, it's going to get out of people's minds, and then it's going to bomb anyways. And also both movies are plagued with problematic actors. Let's just say that. But Snow White, I don't like the concept art that came out recently. It looks like concept art. It looks like they went back to the drawing board when this movie should have been done. It should have been in post production. I don't think they needed to go and change the dwarfs drastically, but I did read an article today that said that they are afraid that this is going to be a company crashing loss if it doesn't do well. So, because I think they spent over $300 million making it, and so they wanted to go back to the drawing board with the dwarves. They pushed it back a year so that the controversy with the main star would die down. But she's advertising other projects right now. The Hunger Games got a interim SAG agreement, so she's been promoting that movie. So who knows what she is coming out of her mouth right now, and that always gets her into trouble. So I'm not a really big fan of hers because even though like she was Maria in West Side Story, which is one of my favorite movies. Like Kelly had told me that even when she was promoting that movie, she said some not kind things about that one. She also, in one of her interviews, told the interviewer that because they're not focusing on the love story, that the guy who's playing the prince could just be cut out. Why would you say that to somebody in an interview that one of your coworkers, your co-stars, is going to be cut out of the movie? What gives you the right to say that to anybody? I don't care if you're the star. So I feel like even a year from now, when she's promoting the movie again, she's gonna say the same shit. So the controversy is gonna come back. The controversy is not gonna go anywhere. So I feel like it's a lose-lose situation, and it should probably just go to Disney Plus.
All right, Joey, how do you top that?
You
like,
don't.
I can't, but I'm just piggybacking on a lot of what Courtney said, and I had this feeling, for a long time. But first of all, the first look / concept art looks like shit. It looks worse than the old '80s Hobbit VCR, the video case, and I mean it was definitely thrown together like just like, oh, we got to make people happy, which made them even worse. But even before, I'm not even going to jump into the whole Rachel Ziegler thing because, I mean, that could go crazy. But this movie's been riddled with controversy since Peter Dinklage spoke out against dwarf actors, not playing dwarves, and then Lewis helped me out, but the Leprechaun wrestler, um,
The
he was in the like early 2000s. He was a Leprechaun, but he was in WWE. If
I
somebody
don't.
knows,
I don't know his
Hornswoggle.
name. Oh,
Hornswoggle, but he's an actor too, and so he was on a lot of shows like, and I'm a big fan of Peter Dinklage and Game of Thrones and Elf and all that. So, but I really was surprised that he like, anyways, but just like a lot of dwarf actors were mad at him saying he doesn't speak for us. These are the roles that we get and that we make a living by. So it was riddled of controversy of that. Then the whole Rachel Ziegler thing, and then of course the strike. But to push it back a year is that I mean, I've heard of reshoots and pushing back a few months, but a full year is not good news at all for the movie. And like Courtney said, it should just come to Disney Plus because rather than have a big release and spending all this money on marketing, which Disney hasn't done well lately in the first place, um, they should just kind of wipe their hands. But at least release it for the people that do want to see it. But yeah.
All right. I mean, I don't disagree with any of those comments. I've kind of beaten a dead horse at this point with all of my comments on Snow White.
And I'd rather watch The Huntsman in that sequel. So,
oh, Kevin and Amanda, what are you guys' thoughts on this?
Okay. So I think that this was riddled with controversy and issues from the moment they said they were doing it. Because all of us were like, you haven't really hit the mark with any live action lately. Why would you touch Snow White?
Mm.
You shouldn't, unless it's going to be perfect, right? That's
Yeah.
what we were saying from the start. And then all of this stuff came out and we're like, no, just stop, just no. And now, like, I'm hoping that with them coming out and saying, okay, we're not going to release this garbage that we've put together, we are going to go back to the drawing board and give it its due diligence for the next year. I'm hoping that they're going to straighten things up and actually come out with something that is salvageable. I'm hoping.
Or hoping that there's so little else out that there's less to compare it to hate it on it. I don't know.
But
But we
then,
can pixie dust this and be like, at least they're trying to fix it
yeah.
rather than just put it out. But who knows?
But also, like we were talking about, but before, like there's a lot of things that are going to be pushed out because of the strike and stuff. So I think if they did release it, there's nothing else out right
True.
now. So 100% of the focus is going to be on Snow White. Whereas if they say we'll release it in a year with all of these other projects that will now be released in that year, and then hopefully everyone will be watching those movies instead, and not have all the time to just hype on our movie because it's the only thing out in theaters right now.
Good point.
I don't know.
That would be beneficial, and they wouldn't lose as much money. But would it be good? Is the problem. Mhm.
If they can fix what needs to be fixed,
Yeah, I don't know who's fixing it, but
I don't know.
Mhm.
Sino, what's your view on it?
It looked like concept art to me. But who knows? You guys might be onto something. It might be the same reason why they keep pushing it back. That way, they release it with the other ones, and they don't lose a lot of money. It takes the focus off of just Snow White alone if they were to release it like now. But I'm just I haven't liked none of the real live action movies that they made. And just by looking at their the cover, it looks like it's gonna be another flop.
Yeah, and speaking of flops, we had a comment come up. I'll bring it back up real quick. Going around, it says, I think Snow White can do $1 billion. Courtney, yay or nay? You think it can make $1 billion?
Not the way it is.
All right. Joey?
Hell nay.
Hell no. Kevin and Amanda?
well, if they keep pushing it out with inflation, I mean, maybe.
All right. So it's
$40 movie ticket.
All right. Amanda?
Mm-mm. I don't see it.
You don't see it?
Nope.
Sino?
Yeah, not the way it is right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, given the fact that Mermaid made its money back like by what 100,000, I think it was, and that was less riddled with controversy than Snow White has already gotten before its first official trailer. I don't think it makes any money. I think it goes straight to Disney Plus.
And let me tell you something, as somebody who usually gets tickets right when they go on sale and goes to the like midnight showings that are on like Thursday at 6. Yeah. I was not in a hurry to buy Hunger Game tickets because of Rachel Ziegler's comments about Snow White. So guess what? Other movies are going to suffer too.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I was just going to say that it really didn't hit me until Courtney was mentioning about the article she read about it possibly being a company buster. It's crazy how the animated classic that Walt put so much stake in that built the company. And I mean, just the faith that he put in it. Now the live action one is being talked as the one that can destroy the company. That's bonkers.
Which means they'll need to re-release Cinderella again to save the company.
I mean, it is kind of ironic. 100 years ago, it made the company, and I mean, not really. I mean, obviously, it was a few years later, but Now 100 years later, and now this is the controversy: is Snow White. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little ironic. I mean, like I said before, the people in the comments start murdering me. I get it. It was about 20 years later for Snow White, but just saying.
Well, I mean, the company was just a regular little animation company, but it was do or die based on this movie. The banks, I mean, everything was Disneyland wouldn't have happened if Snow White flopped.
Yeah.
The rest of the everything else, all the other animated classics wouldn't happen if it flopped. So, yeah, it's bonkers to think of that 100+ years later.
Yep. So real quick, before we get into the Adventureland Treehouse, we are going to take our getaway today break, and we will be right back with the Adventureland Treehouse and our pot stirring game. So we will be right back.
Well, hello, and welcome to Let's Get to Know Our Sponsor. Getaway Today has been helping Disney vacation dreams come true since 1990. Whether you choose to visit the happiest place on earth or travel to Orlando and beyond, they want to help you. Need to know the best hotel in the area? What theme park ticket should you buy? Have a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts are always here to help. Want to book a cruise and don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will help you find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it is your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today's experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today has layaway, peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours in advance. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon your welcome. Getaway Today will guarantee the best prices with no hidden fees. And every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million has been donated. So click the link in our show notes to start your Disney vacation planning for more information and the best deals. Tell them Walt's Apartment sent you. And until next time, enjoy the view from Walt's Apartment.
All right. Thank you, Getaway Today. Actually, I believe Getaway Today helped a few of our hosts out this past weekend. So we appreciate them and thank you for that. So coming back, we have the Adventureland Treehouse, which opens this weekend. I believe this Thursday. I believe it's Thursday. Magic key holders get a early access preview. There's some controversy on the internet right now. So Disney released the promotional video of it being at night and kind of giving you a first-hand look at it. But now some people that have seen it, some of the behind-the-scene cast members that have seen it, there's obviously leaked photos out there. There is stuff out there that has come to surface. Not the best, but there's stuff. My question, everybody, and this is a big controversy, is the Adventureland Treehouse, the Swiss family, I forget the full name, is it going to live up the hype with how long it has taken for this to open? There's a lot of controversy over, really, that's all you did, that's all you've given us, and it's taken this long. I mean, it's taken longer than some full attractions. So, open it to you guys. Do you think the Treehouse was worth the wait? Do you think us as fans overhyped it? I mean, let's hear your guys' views on this, because this has been a subject that has been brewing since the parks have reopened. Is where is the Treehouse? Why is it taking so long? And now we're at its doorstep, and some people are feeling like Disney dropped the ball.
So I'll start on this one because I know you said this is kind of like in my little wheelhouse with like SEA and Adventureland and stuff. So first of all, I think on this one Disney fans built up the hype on themselves, because I after a while I got some inside info from inside info, but they remember a couple years ago the bridge almost collapsed as somebody was walking across. So then, of course, OSHA walked through it and they found out, well, this thing's completely unsafe, like the whole entire thing. So, of course, Disney does, okay, we're going to make it more sound and everything. And then so of course that's full structure rebuild. And then so obviously people think, oh, there's walls in Scrim Up, it's going to be rethemed to something. It was never really planned to be rethemed originally. And then as Disney fans and YouTubers and podcasters and everybody started building up, oh, that maybe they'll make it the Cosita or something from Encanto or something from this. And Disney's like, hold your shit right now. We're trying to get structurally sound. And then they figured, well, maybe we should retheme it because Tarzan's a little bit older, still loved, but not a whole lot of people were going up in there, and it was kind of in the way too, especially Parade and Fantasmic Time. So they're like, well, let's retheme it. What can we do? And actually do enjoy that it is an original story. You can make it what you want to make it, either get into the SEA theming or just whatever. But the story of a family, I think, is a good idea. But I think we as fans have kind of built it up on our own. Yeah, it did take a long time. I think me and Courtney were joking around like they announced it a year and a half ago, and then like 3 months ago they announced Tiana's Palace, and it was done like in like that, and how quick. But I'm excited for it, and I just think the overhyping of it is just Disneyland is so locally visited. There's so many influencers there. I think we just build it up ourselves.
All right. I mean, I don't disagree with what you shared. I don't. I think us as fans overhyped it, but at the same time too, I think Disney is again kind of going to their marketing. I mean, I think they could have put a halt to that too by sharing little tidbits, and there hasn't really been anything besides the concept art, so they haven't really tamed that either. But I also think Disney's Imagineers right now are struggling a little bit because they are uncovering challenges. Rumor is that tree, like you shared, was unsafe, but rumor is big chunks of that tree were rebuilt, and notice a lot of the leaves are now artificial leaves, just like Splash. Everyone's questioning, I won't go down Splash too much, but Splash, a lot of the core structural steel is being shown now, and they're like, why are you tearing that up? What are you putting there? And I think Disneyland being so old is that some of these Imagineers, when they go and look behind the curtains of the attraction, are realizing we can't use that no more because that is either not working properly, doesn't work at all, or hey, that's no longer up to modern day code. And now our timeline just got pushed back twice as long because now we have to fix that and design that around this. So I think, unfortunately, for right now with Imagineers, they don't know what they're uncovering with some of these older attractions, like Matterhorn, for instance, goes down very periodically because they're rebuilding it without tearing it down. They're rebuilding internally to be structurally sound. But again, they know these challenges, and Disney, being the magic makers they are, could have done some marketing around that to really get the excitement up to where they need it, but not let the excitement grow to where now this attraction looks less than what it was, even though we are giving you exactly what we intended to give you. And unfortunately, you guys as fans built that hype up. So I think Disney's marketing team really dropped the ball on this because it's been real crickets. I mean, they could have had set pieces from this attraction at D23 so you can see, feel, touch, know what's coming. Instead, they left you at the what's behind Big Thunder Mountain kind of feel. And I feel like Disney's marketing team dropped the ball to not necessarily bring down the hype, but funnel the hype. We want you going this route, not saying all these things. So to me, I don't think it took too long, but I think Disney's marketing team never came up to bat.
I feel that they haven't been up to bat in a long time
I will
on
agree with that as
anything. On anything, all their marketing has sucked for the movies, from anything really. So yeah, I agree with the marketing team dropping the ball because the only thing that I saw about it was from like an influencer of Gothic Rosie. Like she was the one that said, "Hey, Magic Key holders get to have a preview on the 9th." And then the video I saw today, just kind of like glancing at it at work, I didn't really go deep into it, but that was put out by the Disneyland ambassadors. So their marketing team's not doing shit. They left it up to the ambassadors that be like, "Hey, the Swiss Polka is coming back," because that's what the Swiss Family Robinson was really famous for with that old tree before the Tarzan came was that music. And so yeah. So that's what I saw was on the Disney ambassadors page, not from Disney marketing about it. And do I feel like it took the hype is too much for it? Yes, because it's a walk through attraction through a tree. It's not anything. It's not like a
Yeah.
Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's a walk through a tree, which I love. I went up there a lot. You know, when it was Tarzan's Treehouse, when things were too long. Yeah, I could always count on Tarzan's Treehouse would be like a quick walk up the stairs, especially when we were checking on progress for Galaxy's Edge. You could see the spires popping up behind Big Thunder Mountain from Tarzan's treehouse. So people would go up there and check the progress of Galaxy's Edge. And then
And it's theme park cardio.
exactly. It's a lot of stairs. And there is that like scary part where you have to go across the bridge. And yeah, somebody did almost fall through there. So I do agree that it wasn't structurally sound. So they needed to fix that before they could do anything. But do I feel like they probably ran into challenges like we got way more than we ever did before when they were building this thing. So they probably weren't expecting the, muddy, disaster they had to deal with building it either. So do I think it took too long? Longer than I thought it was going to be. But like I said, there were challenges. They had to fix things. But at the end of the day, it's still a walk through a tree.
Yeah.
All right. Kevin, Amanda, Sino, you guys have any input on that one?
No, it's just, like they say, they hyped it up too much. I've been on it. I walked through it a few times, and when I looked at the video that they put out, nothing really stood out to me. Like, oh wow, I can't wait to see this. It's just like they say, we hyped it up too much.
I feel like I missed all of the hype for this. Like, I don't know. I felt like no one was ever talking about it. I would like have myself up looking at it when we were in the park, but I felt like no one was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be amazing! You can't wait!" Like, when you see it's gonna be so cool. No, I felt like nobody was telling me that.
I think the only real thing that I heard was the refurbishment date goes out indefinitely. Like we still
Like
don't
they
know.
were
We
working
still
on
don't
other
know.
projects is what I
Yeah.
felt like. This was just getting put on the back burner, not so
Right.
much it was getting better.
Right. And I think with the point of, the safety issue, it's like if you were to go in and refurb an old house, right? Like you never know what's going to be under the
What problems you're
floorboards
gonna come
until
across.
you start hammering stuff out. And so, yeah, you just don't know. And I appreciate that it did take so long because I want it to be structurally sound.
I'm hoping it is.
Like I
Exactly.
I don't want to go up there and be like, unless it's intentionally what it's supposed to be doing. But I'm personally excited to go up there and find all of those Easter eggs that the Imagineers put there. Like what secret or not secret, but like what things about the SEA. How is that storyline going to go? I'm excited to maybe learn some new things, go down that rabbit hole. I'm excited for something new. And that's really what it comes down to of like, we're still getting something that we've never seen before. Is it going to be something super amazing? Again, like we mentioned, it's a walkthrough through a tree, but at least it's something. And
Yeah, I haven't seen the video for it.
I haven't either.
Because we're gonna go on Saturdays, so we didn't want to
Yeah.
like spoil it. But yeah.
I mean, I am just so thankful that walkway is now wider, and I will take that over Tarzan's treehouse any day.
Yeah, I assumed it was part of that whole Project Stardust. I didn't know it was just a safety concern.
Yeah. And I'm excited too because I know it's supposed to tie in even with some of the new additions to Jungle Cruise. And when you hear certain things like that, because we know the different excursion, then they're a family that was in a wreck. So it's like, were they the family in the crashed Jungle Cruise boat? So there's so many. Yeah, so there's so many like stories that fans can even make up in their own head.
Right.
I think that could be fun walking through a tree.
Yeah.
See, and you bring up a key thing. I forgot who mentioned that, but they changed the storyline in the Swiss Family Robinson. This isn't a home that they had to live in.
It says it's based on.
Well, no, there's a sign that it's behind the walls. You can see it from the restaurant right there. I'm blinking the name right now. There's a sign saying when we chose to live here and this and that. It's not going based off the wreckage. So it's based off of, hey, no, this is the lifestyle we chose and this and that. Not we're forced to live this way. Again, kind of peppering back the word forced and all that stuff. Yeah, so the hype, though, Kevin, that you missed is, it was for a little while there. It was, it's going to be Antonio from Encanto's Treehouse. Then there was rumor that with the Tiana takeover of the restaurant and Splash Mountain, there was even brief rumors of it being Mama Odie's tree. That one didn't live up to the hype too much, but I think that came when Tiana's place or palace, is it place or palace?
Palace.
It's place. Oh no, it's palace.
She wrote place as a child on the menu as a dream, but then it turned into palace.
So I think that restaurant was being announced and it leaked that another Tiana project was coming, and the Mama Odie's tree was very short-lived, but the Antonio's tree from Encanto, that was really getting a lot of traction. People were, especially because the gentleman that does the music, I can never pronounce his name.
Lin-Manuel Miranda?
Yeah, he wanted a attraction. He shared that, and everyone was instantly thinking, Encanto's going there. It's going there because he said, there'll be an Encanto attraction within the next 2 years and stuff like that. He was making comments during COVID, just like the Splash Mountain news got broke during COVID during an interview that, it'll be here within 2 years, and then it blew back up. So who
doesn't want a Disneyland attraction though?
Yeah,
I want my own Disneyland attraction.
Well, you know what? I thought that the tree might be Antonio's because the door on the back of Riverbell Terrace is like pink and orange, like Casita. So I thought that they were literally kind of trying to turn that little space from like the tree to the Riverbell Terrace, that restaurant, into Casita and, have the tree house. But then it never really went to fruition. But it looks weird because you have this back door on this restaurant that's pink and orange and white and stuff like that, like how Casita would look.
Jumping on Casita right now, I mean, I think a better Encanto presence would be at the Star Wars Trader or Outpost. Old Rainforest Cafe would make a better Casita like restaurant than.
Yeah.
I still think it should be Adventurers Club, but that's
I think Casita should be at the Hyperion. You make that entire wall an animated animatronic, the house. So when you're walking down Hollywood Boulevard, you change that to like Columbia. And as you're walking down that road, because there's the little town that everyone leads up to the house, you change that whole Hollywood land to Columbia. And then in Hyperion, where the fake facade is, you make that like a giant animatronic where the windows are moving, the tiles are moving. And then the songs and the show is inside of the Hyperion. So you do an entire Encanto show inside the Hyperion. But Hollywood Land becomes like Columbia. You could do Monsters, Inc. as Antonio's room, where it's a bunch of animals and a dark ride for the kids. Dude, I think you can kill it in there.
But how would Rogers come back?
Rogers doesn't need to come back.
Yes,
if they did that, you'd be like, "This is California Adventure. Why do you have Columbia here?"
Exactly.
I mean, hold on.
Another IT. Go
Does it coffee suck?
Is it California Adventure besides Buena Vista Street? I mean, everything else is not. I mean,
Hollywood Land.
Yeah,
That's
yep.
California.
You know where Hollywood
I
is?
have a
Grizzly
feeling that-
Peak, Redwood Creek. That's California.
I mean,
the front of the park, yes.
San Francisco is half California.
The winery area.
Pixar Piers out
still
of
the Golden
Emeryville.
State, yeah.
So
Oh yeah, that's right. Pixar is in Emeryville.
I mean, if you're getting that technical, I guess you could go that route. But I mean, are the fans going there? I mean, Radiator Springs. I mean, talking
Route
cars.
66 goes through
is
California.
In California. Do you want to look at the DCA map? Let's go.
Are we going technical thinking, or are we going imagination thinking? If we're going technical thinking, then just bring back California 1.0.
Hey, I'm
I
just
don't
telling
want
you,
that.
Kevin, Amanda will show you where in the park California is in
Oh.
DCA.
That's
Shoot you
right.
there.
I
Plug.
mean, unfortunately, I think Avengers is going to take over that land, and I feel like maybe King Thanos ride is going to go into stage 17, and that is why they closed and took out the shop.
I think stage 17 is too small for a King Thanos run. If you look at the blueprint for what's the Smuggler's Run,
It's in there. It's just a warehouse.
yeah, but I mean that right there is the line queue for Smuggler's Run. I mean, look at the size of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. They need that much space.
Well, they could. Well, that's at the begin. Like the back
the
of that
buses-
is at the front of the park
buses-
anyway. So
yeah,
they
the
couldn't
buses are
build.
there. I think it's too small.
Well,
Unless
what if
they
you
take
have
out.
like a Star Tours type ride?
Well, it's
that
probably
footprint
going
is
to be one. It's
right.
probably
That
gonna be a
footprint is not
screen.
that big compared
But-
to Mickey and Minnie's.
Unless they
Like,
take out Monsters Inc.,
Yeah,
the-
and built that way.
what used to be Flynn's Arcade, or the whole
Well,
like
Captain
wraparound.
Marvel's plane is in there right now.
No, they could take it out.
I think what you do is you take Monsters Inc. and turn it into like what's the kids version, that Amazing Spider-Man show. You do that for a dark ride for Marvel Land. I don't think fans would agree with another screen projected Avengers ride. I mean, that makes three
Well,
of
they're
them.
moving forward with King Thanos. I just don't know where it's going to be, and a lot of it is screen work. So I
But I
don't
thought
know.
it was supposed to be,
that
it was
that
that
whole
building, the new
space,
building.
they can take from Schmoozies back to 17, use that whole space.
Yeah.
That little
That's true.
shop, that's movable, that's fine. You know, that
stage
whole
they use
space
sometimes.
from Philhar Magic to 12, that can all be used
Yeah.
to be like one ginormous, amazing attraction with a great queue.
And
mean-
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, as of right now, like anytime there's a festival, they just plop one of those movable like restaurant, booths there, and then that's the only thing that's in there,
Yeah.
besides that stage and what doesn't move.
And I was going to say, if the East Gate does actually happen, the East Gate entrance, the whole bus area is gone, and
Yeah.
it'll just be above it, unless it goes under too. So I mean, there's still that room where all the buses are across in the back. That's a huge addition, depending on how everything goes with the Disney Forward, though, Disneyland Forward.
Yeah, that East project, man, that's a whole other behind.
Yeah, that's a whole other show.
Yeah.
But I agree with my mom in the comments there. Like, we could totally do another holiday or like overlay project on this. That would be amazing.
We could.
I just need time for animations and photos and stuff. 'cause
Yeah.
you guys. I want to. I was
Me
telling
too,
Kevin
Dave.
at MouseCon, I'm like, I want to see the pink elephant ride with bubbles
Yeah,
and everything. That would
yeah,
be
he
awesome.
cranked that out in like 2 days. So
Easy.
Dang, that was awesome.
Well, we had a game plan, but we are out of
No.
time with our today's show.
No,
So
we
we're
can
gonna
do it.
save
Come on.
that. We're gonna have to save that one. So we'll bring it back. Don't worry.
We had too many
Apologies for that.
opinions.
We got some really good topics. But going around the room, if you guys want to share where everyone can find you at, your social media handles, stuff like that. If you want to start us off, Courtney.
So me and my sister, we have a podcast. We are the Neverland Clubhouse. Our handle is Neverland Clubhouse Pod. We are on the Skywalking Through Neverland Network. We call it Skynet. So you can go follow us over there.
Joey, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Disney Universe Podcast, and now part of the Walt's Apartment Podcast family, where we're all a part of. And then just quick little plug and love. We all had a great time at MouseCon. We got a clip show coming out real soon, and if you guys can make it, there's the next one in Bakersfield last Saturday in January, I believe, the 27th. So
Something like
more on that soon.
All right. Kevin and Amanda.
yeah, you can find us at we'reinthepark.com and on Facebook and Instagram at We're in the Park. And we too will be at MouseCon Bakersfield, January 27th.
Awesome. Sino, we appreciate you joining us. For those that want to chat with you and get to know you, where can they find you at?
Oh, you guys can find me on Instagram with Cino_08.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you being on. For the rest of you guys, appreciate you guys coming back. It's been a really good show, and we obviously have kind of some leftovers that need to come back so we can finish this show off. But until then, guys, we appreciate all of our viewers, all our listeners. Next time, bring your popcorn and your opinions, and always remember,